what we call latency period or refractory period. When you ejaculate or when you reach orgasm and when you get a second erection. That latency period usually varies depending or according to some factors which someone is supposed to know, and know how you can shorten it and know what causes it to lengthen or to become very many minutes, and then you end up having the best sex or the best life with your partner. Now, this period usually it is short in some men, and I'm going to start with young men. When you are a young man, let's say 34 and below, we expect your latency period to be about 15 minutes maximum, at least 10 minutes, 5 minutes to re-erect again or to get the erection of another time, and then not beyond 15. And when you are older, let's say 45, 50, 60, we say someone can go to 30 minutes or even several hours, or even someone can get that one round and then get the erection again in the morning. And that is okay and that is common, but there are some things now which could cause more issues, or which would cause someone to have more time than expected. One, if someone has some medical conditions, let's say maybe someone has diabetes, someone has hypertension, someone has those issues. So most men tend to have a prolonged time. Again, if someone is having anxiety, stress, and others, they tend to have a longer time. Having low testosterone as well, that's also a medical condition. Having low testosterone or having hormonal issues, that could also cause you to be having that period when it is longer. Again, taking alcohol and having poor sleep, stress, and in those combinations, those ones can cause you to be having that period when it is longer. And you want it shorter, these could be the issues why some men are having it shorter. One, health and fitness. If someone is well, if someone is doing exercises, they are getting hydrated very well, they take enough water. If someone is actually eating well and they are neglecting sugars, they are not taking alcohol, or they are having a reduction in the solids or the carbohydrates they are taking, they are likely to have a shorter latency period or a shorter refractory period, so they erect easily or they immediately erect after ejaculation. Two, it could be an issue which is dealing with the feed, like we talked about, the age and wellness. So someone could be old, but they are having a well organized body, they are doing the right thing, they are eating well, and maybe they are doing exercises. We can talk about the intimacy or the connection between you and your partner. It also matters a lot, because for example, when you're having sex, let's say with a woman, and then you reach somewhere and be like, I really don't want to have it again, or I don't feel like. So the intimacy, the connection between you and your partner completely matters. So that's why we are saying most of the times your relationship with someone also matters. And then we say if it is there and you're having that good connection, it really helps you. Again, on another point, pornography and masturbation. If someone is actually doing a lot of pornography and masturbation, they are likely to have a longer period. Why? They have conditioned their body. And we have seen these cases. We have explained those cases in our videos that we have tagged in the comment section, and you will see them in our shows moving around. We have been educating people on the effects of pornography and masturbation towards someone's sexual life. If someone is having poor sleep, if someone is having anxiety and blah blah, we have seen all that. But a good thing is that we can reverse this, or we can make it shorter or even almost immediate, and we could have proper erection. And what are we doing in hospitals? As most doctors are doing, they are giving us Viagra, they are giving us Apicalis, they are giving us Dioxin and others. Those drugs they are giving us, they could help us temporarily, or they could try to help, because some statistics show that about 9 men who are actually not having erectile dysfunction, they are not having any issue to do with their sex, but they are using these drugs. So what we are saying that sometimes these drugs we get from the hospital, they could help us temporarily, but they will cause more effects. You have seen people complaining of headache, you have seen people complaining of developing pressure or hypertension or hypotension or anything to do with that. You are at high risk of getting cardiac diseases. Why would we go in for that? Because we saw that this Viagra was actually literally not made to treat erectile dysfunction and other diseases, but literally it was meant to treat angina pectoris, which could be a condition to do with the heart. So usually when you take these drugs, they actually affect you. Why don't we do it naturally? One, have good sleep. Make sure that you're hydrated very well. Make sure that you create a strong emotional connection with your pattern, it really helps. And we need to review this every time. You need to make sure that you create something new to keep being attracted to your partner sexually. That is very, very important. And then we need to look at the point where we see that looking at a different partner or a different sexual partner, you really, sometimes it helps you maintain that, or you realize when you're dealing with another person or something new that you're actually interested in, you have lust. So it will help you to have that period reduced. So that's why I'm saying always keep that new connection with your partner. It is very, very important. Then we have been educating you about the foods that can help you restore your nitric oxide. Click on those videos down there, watch them, get to know how to replace the nitric oxide, get to know how to improve the blood saturation, get to know how to make sure that your vessels are actually saturatory wise working very, very well. It will help you. And you have seen, if you wake up, let's say you have gotten the first round, please stand up. Make sure that you take some 2 or 3 glasses of water, walk around. It can take you 2 minutes or 3 minutes. By the time you refresh, you have gotten your second erection, and that is very, very important. If these techniques don't work for you, actually, you might need to go and see a professional, because all of us know that most of the times when we are reaching orgasm or when we are having sex, these excitatory hormones like dopamine, they are increasing at a very high rate. But then when you ejaculate like this, those hormones slope very, very fast. Let's take an example of when someone let's say you are urinating, or maybe you are trying to void, or we call it voiding, and you have gone to the toilet or you have gone somewhere, then you have urinated and you have completed the urine which is in your bladder. If you complete that urine, it will take you some time to get the urine back into the bladder so that you can go and urinate. So you can't be, so men usually need this time to what, to reactivate their system. So see you in the next video. Hopefully it has helped you. You have learned how to make it how to make it stay hard for the time, how to make sure that you have that refractory period or that latency period shorter. See you in the next video.